All righty, fellas. What is up? This is the first look of me in my new place. I mean, it looks the exact same in my background virtually. If you look really closely, it is white, not gray on my wall. So it is a little bit different, but virtually it is the same background for me. But yeah, had a huge weekend of moving, which is why Danny was solo with the scratchy voice on Sunday, and he's still dying today. But yeah.
It's no secret. If you guys know the players that I have in the Flock League, you can pretty much take a guess at what happened this weekend, considering Justin Herbert, Will Dissly, and Brace Hall combined for 13 PPR points. So pour one out for me because
I won.
I need a whole lot to go right if I want to make a fucking playoff spot.
Yeah, I have not won yet. David Njoku goes for 30 points and I would lose. But
you winning would be crucial for me, by the way.
Yeah. So Austin had a pretty big dud week, especially like his team just took a huge hit too because he just lost McCaffrey for the season. So that for other contenders, I would say it was a great week for that. I know Mason is probably in position to get a bye now because of Austin losing. And I know
and Avery lost too. Avery lost.
Yeah, Avery lost as well. Mason getting a bye with that team, he has like 30 more points for than I do. And I'm going to be 4-8 or whatever. What is my record? 5-8 after this week?
Yeah.
My record's 5-8 and Mason has 30 more points for than me. And he's going to have a bye. That's how close this league is.
Yeah. No,
that's literal dead last with like 30 less points.
Yeah. No, that's pretty nutty. I mean, he's not going to win the league anyway, so I'm not worried.
Yeah. That's tough, Christian. Yeah. That is tough.
Yeah, we don't like to see that.
Yeah. Bench Hall for Cooks this week. Let's go, dude. That's a great call.
I wish I had the cojones to make something like that.
I wish I had the cojones to bench Hall for Bucky Irving because I thought about doing it.
You want to hear the fact that even despite Dissly and Herbert combining for 7 points, if I ended up starting NWI, who I had as my substitution for Brace Hall if I didn't play, if I started him, I would have been within 6 points, with the happenstance that my quarterback and tight end combined for 7.
Yeah, so that's tough.
I'm just glad it wouldn't have dictated a win or loss. If the difference between Brace Hall and Nick Westbrook-Akine this week was more than the difference I lost by, I would have been so upset.
Yeah. My worst beat was definitely the Dak getting injured and having sat Mahomes week. That was definitely my worst beat all season in the Flock League for sure.
Who was that against?
Zach. And that was the week that not only would I have won if I had just played Mahomes, I also was an inch away from Travis Kelce scoring at the end of that game, and I would have won that for that reason too. So that was just a difficult week all around. Had I beaten Zach that week, I would be 6-7 right now, and I would actually have a chance of making the playoffs.
Yeah.
If I had just played Mahomes like I was going to the entire week, I would have beaten Zach by 15 if I'd played Mahomes. Or if Dak just doesn't get hurt in that game, like if he plays 2 more drives and then gets hurt, I would have beaten Zach as well.
You know how annoying it is watching what Breece Hall did on Sunday and then watching a real first-round running back like Saquon Barkley, what he was doing in the next slate? You know how fucking annoying that was? Seeing what Barkley was doing, knowing that that's what I drafted Breece Hall to be. You know how annoying that is?
Dude, you know how annoying it is that I remember when we were building out our bold predictions for the year, I'm not even shitting you, dude. I nearly put that Saquon paced the running back position as like the RB1 in fantasy and like killed everybody. Because I was like, part of me was like Saquon was just the total common sense pick. Like it was just, Saquon's been on bad teams his whole career. Now he goes to a good team. He's going to crush, right? Like, actually, I told my buddies about this when we were out watching the game on Thursday night. We were watching the Dolphins and Packers game out at St. Louis. And I told them I had an idea for a video that would get them all on the channel where I would sit them down. Because in my new place here, like to my right, we're going to have a in-person setup. So me and Danny can record a lot more in person than we normally do. But I'm going to sit each of my like league mates down. Just burn your mouth.
Oh, that was. I've had it in this fucking in this thermos for like an hour, and for whatever reason, it just keeps so much fucking heat in it. Go to take a sip.
It burns his mouth. Anyways, I want to sit a couple of my league mates down and make a video called casual fantasy players like make takes or whatever, or some shit like that. Like I'd sit each one of my league mates, just get them down for like 2 minutes and have them just be like, what's your like bold prediction for the year or something? Because sometimes casuals are on to something, man. In my home league, everybody wanted Saquon. Everybody. He went at 106 in my draft.
Holy fuck.
He went at 106. Everybody loves Saquon in my home league. So that's why I'm like, sometimes casuals, like we need to listen to them a little bit.
I mean, you want to hear what happened in my home league? I had the 112 and I went with Gibbs and Nakua over Barkley at the 112. And he went to 202. Like the guy at 11 got Marv in the first round, who actually like it was a snipe on me, but ended up working out because he's been kind of I got Gibbs and Nakua. And then he took Barkley on the next pick. It's like if I had just gone with Gibbs and Barkley, could you imagine where I'd be right now?
Dude, I remember in the Flock League, obviously, had I just taken Jefferson, that would have been better. But in the second round, I remember Barkley missed me by 1 pick also. Imagine if I had started my draft with Jefferson and Barkley.
Yeah, that would have been nutty.
That would have been nutty, for sure. But anyways, Nemesis says, yo, Bush, hope moving to your new place turned out good. Yeah, it was a massive, it's a massive upgrade from like a size perspective from where I was living before. I was in like a basement apartment for like a 2-bedroom, 1-bath apartment. It was like, 1,000 square feet, give or take. And this is a 3-bedroom, 3-bath house. This is, me and my fiance both have our own offices now. And we're able to like, I don't have to be like, telling her, hey, I got to record a video, like, going to be loud, like keep an eye out. Like now she can just go downstairs. It's like way better.
Trust me, the most relieved person here is me.
Yeah, Danny was the one taking the brunt of it. It was like, oh, sorry, I can't record right now because Maria's writing and, I can't be yapping away. Because like we also have like the most conflicting jobs too, where she's a writer, so she needs silence to write, and I'm a yapper for a living, so it is not a good combination when it comes to both of us working from home.
Also, we didn't have our early morning live stream that we usually do on Monday, but the one take, I mean, I gotta say it out loud, and I'm sure you actually noticed in the Flock League feed, but I mean, when are we having the burrito for Kyle Pitts? Like, when's it happening? Like, I dropped him.
Kyle Pitts, it's funny because I knew this was going to happen this year, where it was either going to be Kyle Pitts is now the tight end 2 in Dynasty, or he's an elite tight end, or he's like absolutely useless. Like that was always going to be the range of outcomes for Kyle Pitts.
I took him at the 5-6, and I still what's crazy in my head. I'm like, when I made that pick at 5-6, I'm like, okay, you know what? I like some of the other tight ends, but I feel like I'm not going to be able to get a good one to fall to me. But if I just didn't take Kyle Pitts and I just took literally any of these guys, I mean, we're talking Kittle, we're talking Bowers, we're talking Njoku, like literally any of those guys, if you swap that pick out, God, I wonder what could have been this year. Like, I wonder what could have been.
There's a couple picks I would have liked to have back.
The onesies held me down all year, straight up.
Yeah.
That was my decider.
Taking Hollywood Brown when there was like very, very solid running back options on the board was dumb. That was really stupid.
Mason, we're speaking of some of our biggest regrets. My biggest regret still is drafting an elite tight end who hasn't been elite all year. The one that I dropped in the league chat yesterday.
Yeah, big win over Flett this week.
Buffalo Bills. Speaking of Flett. Oh my God! Did you see the bullshit that happened to me in Tone Center Truthers?
No, I did not.
I lost by 1.3 points, dude. And I had it happen. McCaffrey on my end, who got hurt on 7 points.
Yeah.
He had James Cook, another player, I forget who it was, and Josh Allen. Josh Allen had a play where he threw a touchdown to himself. That's a 10-point play.
That's crazy.
You know how it is, Mason, man. It's rough out here in the onesie streets.
Oh, dude, I took Kelsey and Mahomes in the 3rd and 4th round. You don't have to tell me.
Yeah.
At least
Kelsey's been good.
Can I just say, knowing what I knew going into the season, I still think that was a great pick. Like
Kelsey was.
Dude, Kelsey and Mahomes, like with Mahomes having all the receivers that he had because they were all healthy at the time. He had Rice, Hollywood Brown, and Worthy. Kelsey at tight end. I was like, dude, Mahomes is about to have a 50 touchdown season, man. Like I really thought it was going to happen. Like I was just dead wrong.
Yeah, no fair.
Someone's asking for pick'ems. I have mine loaded in. We want to rip through them quickly.
So unfortunately, I have not made one today.
Well, I sent the link to Spicy. If he ends up joining, we can make one live together. But I'll rip through the pick'em that I built out here, which is this is one thing that I say is like a good tip that has gotten me a lot better at making pick'ems, is trying to correlate how I think the game will go, if that makes any sense. Because if you try and actually correlate your bets on Underdog, where you like take like the higher passing yards of a quarterback and the higher receiving yards of a receiver, it actually like inherently will lower the payout of your pick'em entry. But if you just think, hey, the Broncos are going to boat race the Browns tonight, and you kind of make picks based on that assumption, it actually works out a little bit better. So for me, I think the Broncos are going to win this game pretty handedly. So
Spicy's at work.
Okay. So I like Bo Nix to go higher than 23.5 rushing yards. Maybe you can get it at 22.5. The reason for this is like the Browns are allowing the third most rush attempts to quarterbacks this year. And also you got like Myles Garrett and like some of the pass rushes that they have. If you look back at Bo Nix's game logs and some of the biggest rushing output games he's had, it's been against like Max Crosby or like big, high level pass rushers. So he's been scrambling in those matchups. So I like him to rush the ball a little bit in this one. And he also went over this total in like half of his games this season. And then Jerome Ford, like I said, I think the Browns are going to lose this game. I thought I like the Broncos to cover 6.5 today. So I like Jerome Ford to catch a couple passes in the second half if it's, dump off check down season. And then Devon Vele has been higher than 3.5 receptions in 3 straight games. And also too, he's been consistently the second highest route participation wide receiver for 3 or 4 weeks now for the Denver Broncos. So I think 3.5 receptions, I like the higher there. So those are the pick'ems that I'm rolling with. Of course, you guys know what to do at this point. Head on over to Underdog, use the promo code FSE, up to 1,000 in bonus cash when you sign up. The Jameis Winston free square is something you could also enter into that pick'em entry. That is a 6X, as you can see there, 3 picks for $60 on a $10 entry. But if you add in the Jameis special, if you're a new customer, you also would make that a 10X if it ends up hitting. And I've been pretty hot this week. I hit one on Thursday, I hit one on Friday, and I believe I hit one not this like Sunday that just played, but the Sunday before. So I've actually hit a couple the last few weeks here. So
if you guys want to hear my luck, the day I can't post the shorts when my voice is toast, I end up going 5 for 6 overall on my picks, and obviously hit one of the picks or the overall pick'ems, right? The one that I missed was actually on Calvin Ridley. So if you guys were just like, hey, you know what? I want to take these other 2 picks and then don't want to use Calvin Ridley, it could have been a 6 for 6, 2 hits, but
it's funny because Danny gets clowned in the comments on our shorts all the time because he's just.
I'm on such a dry spell, bro.
He's like running so cold right now. So the funny thing is that the week he couldn't post the shorts is the week he actually posted some.
Well, what's crazy is, dude, like the first 4 weeks of the year, like I was kind of on a heater. If you don't remember, dude, like I was hitting at least one of them every weekend. It felt like. And then for like a 6-week stretch, 7-week stretch, it felt like I didn't hit a single one.
I was cold from like week 7 to 10 or something. Cause I remember I was nailing either my Thursday pick or my Monday pick for like 6 weeks in a row to start the season.
Yeah, dude, I feel that.
So I was doing good for a while there. And then I had a little cold streak and the last 2 weeks or so I've been doing better. Okay. Are we at the point where benching CeeDee Lamb and Garrett Wilson? Ugh, I don't know, man.
No.
I mean, Lamb, no, because he's still getting all the targets. And Lamb was also hurt in that game. He left the game early. They were getting, also dumpstering the
Garrett
Giants.
Wilson was wide open for a touchdown, like a 30-yard touchdown in that game, and Rodgers just whipped him.
Wilson I am definitely more frustrated with than Lamb, though, because Lamb just left the game early, and the Cowboys were killing the Giants, so it's probably they just shut him down for the rest of the game. I wouldn't be worried about CeeDee Lamb, but Wilson, there's definitely some reasons for concern there. Mason winning the league will be the start of the end.
Speaking of Mason, he's right here.
Chubb lower than 1.5 receptions. Yeah, that is probably a good one as well.
I just found it funny because Christian's hating on his praying on his downfall, and Mason's just right there.
Well, yeah, here comes Mason. He's gonna go the hero of the league.
I still got a couple ones that I gotta record, but.
Speaking of the Flock League, it's so funny. So I posted a video today into the drive of me on my porch, like shoveling snow because we got so much snow here. And I'm like, oh, it only took till week 14, but I finally have an RB2. And now fucking Jordan Mason's out for the year too.
You already know Sammy's going to make you a little edit on that.
Oh, he definitely. I'm gonna make another clip on it and be like, it's so funny that I finally get an RB2 and he was pried away from me within 6 hours of me having one. Because like, yeah, that's funny.
I mean,
dude,
it depends what type of Avery defense we get in the playoffs.
I think
Avery
I
seems
will
strong.
say, I don't think I'm gonna come in last, like in the toilet bowl. Like I might come in last.
Who's your pick?
I think Nathan's team is worse than mine of the creators. It would be really funny if Nathan was wearing Mason on his shirt because they have the whole like little bug
the relationship, the connection.
Me and Mason haven't really had beef throughout the league. Like I actually just did Mason a huge fucking favor. I beat Austin for him this week. So
yeah, you actually blessed him.
I think it will be really funny if it's either Sal on like if Mason were to win the league, it would be really funny if it was Sal on Mason's shirt or Nathan on Mason's shirt. It would suck though, to be honest, if I'm on Zach's shirt or if Zach is on my shirt. I would not like that.
Yeah.
Because Zach, he literally beat me by a yard. Like, that's the thing that pisses me off. Like, he was first place. If he gets first place and I come in last and he beat me by a yard when I played him, I'm going to be so mad.
Yeah, dude. I'm one step closer to just focusing on the fucking best ball portfolio at this point.
I'm definitely focusing on it. Well, dude, I mean, I'm doing, it's so annoying. I've said it 40 times, but like literally my home league and the flock league are the only two leagues that I'm doing terrible in.
So Mason's in here. I'll tell him the story too. It's similar for you as well. I am 6-7 in my home league, and I've had 4 games where I've lost on Monday Night Football. My team was finally rounding into shape, and I have Christian McCaffrey, and now he's officially out for the rest of the year. So must-win game. I could potentially make the playoffs after I drafted Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua in 2 of my first 4 picks. About to make the playoffs, and then McCaffrey's going to be out for the rest of the year.
That's tough. I mean, you say Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua like they both didn't miss half the season.
But that's what I'm pointing, dude. I was like on the cusp of the playoffs, 6-7 with 4 Monday Night Football losses, despite having 2 of my best players out for such a long time.
Yeah, that's terrible. Also, Jack says, I'm going to get caged. What is your league punishment? Like, like if they don't win, I won't let my grandma out of the cage or whatever.
He's going to get thrown into a cage probably, and they're going to throw shit at him. Put an
animal in there.
No, like they're probably going to like put him in his fucking like underwear or something and spray like syrup. Like I've seen
cheese
people
spray.
Do this before. Yeah, dude. Like random like heat up marshmallows and throw it at him.
That's crazy.
Dude, it's wild.
Where was the Monday stream?
Wait, where's that?
Someone said, Tony said, where's the Monday stream? So logistical issue is Danny can't speak. And the second logistical issue was that I did not have internet until like I'm using my hotspot right now. And if you guys want to know how bad my internet was before, I am using my hotspot and I'm crystal clear right now because where I live now, I have like 5 bars of connection with Rogers in Canada. It would be like your AT&T in the United States. And I'm having them come tomorrow to actually install my actual internet. But it's funny that my hotspot from here is way better than my actual internet was. And like I had, pretty fast internet just like in terms of the package I purchased. So it's annoying as hell. Yeah, put someone in a cage. Honestly, we should have done it. We should have come up with a way. Like, I say this as somebody who might actually be doing the punishment. We should have come. We got to come up with something funnier.
It should have been. It should have been wearing the shirt while in the cage.
Yeah. Well, people like Mason's like he didn't want like a whole HR scene with it. He's like, I don't want to like get people like super uncomfortable. Like, dude, fuck that, man. Like we're trying to embarrass somebody.
Imagine Nathan came last, and then we just bought dried cockroaches and threw the bugs.
Oh, that would be funny. You know what we should do? We should just get Nathan in the cage and just feed him some gluten.
Feed some laxatives into his drinks.
Bro, I will say, like, obviously it's not that funny, but it is kind of funny to me that every single person that we went to see in the United States is like, I can't eat this product. I can't eat that product. I can't eat this product. I'm like, no wonder I can't eat any of your fucking food. Every citizen in your country has an intolerance of some kind.
Real. We just didn't know it was going to be absolutely. We got to think of a way better punishment than it.
Yeah, no, we will come up with a better punishment for sure. You know what I think could be a funny one? Have you guys ever watched the blind taste test on Hell's Kitchen? So on Hell's Kitchen, episode 8 or 9 of the show, for each season. They do a blind taste test. So they'll have like, someone will like Gordon Ramsay's feeding them like, carrots or something, and they have blindfolds on. That's crazy. That is so funny. But if we did a blind taste test, you put like, we get 2 people, like the 2 people who came in last or something to do it. And if you get the answer wrong, like 3 times, you get like shit dumped on you. So it's like the first one, if you have 5 chances. If you get 3 wrong, you have 3 things dumped on you. So if you get the carrots wrong first, then you dump like Alfredo sauce on them. And then after that is done, then they get like, chicken or something. And like you make like a chicken Alfredo on them, or you make like spaghetti and meatballs on them, or you make an ice cream sundae on them or something. And it would be funny to do that with the 2 lowest finishers.
It's better than the turkey hat.
The turkey hat? Oh, that is so stupid. Yeah, someone's gotta have a pep talk with Nathan, bro. The guy's that guy's never seen struggle in his life.
Dude, I'd be crying when fucking Zach was like, turkey hat? Like, what? That's like a Winston call. Like, it's either super extreme or super fucking basic. Like, what is the punishment of wearing a turkey hat?
Yeah. Oh my god. I thought of a funny one too that would be kind of hilarious. We get a compilation of all of Jameis Winston's workout videos, and you have to replicate it.
Completely forgot the turkey. Sorry.
Hey, Danny. We get all of Jameis's workout videos, and someone's got to replicate it as a montage.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good. That'd be pretty cute.
It'd be kind of funny. Yeah. Okay, where else did we leave off here?
I agree. Yo, if we crush the draft log next year, it could easily crush 1 mil. Easily.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Crushed 300 this year, and like we didn't even like know what was going on, And they started on a channel that had 0 subscribers.
Your voice is coming back to life,
Yeah.
at least.
I was fucking dying, dude. That shit was hilarious.
I think it would be really cool to do. Mason, we should probably talk about this off like camera or whatever, but dude, the NFL Combine in March, we might have to fucking do some shit.
Like draft order and shit there.
Well, the fucking domain guys live in Indianapolis.
Yeah,
right?
That'd be dope.
And they're like 20 minutes from Lucas Oil, Avery told me. So if we could go to the Combine, because I want to go to the Combine.
You guys aren't prepared for how high I will draft Ashton Genty if he's a Cowboy, for the record.
Yeah, I mean Danny's gonna draft him really high. Also, Badake think I'm just gonna like fold my my whole way of thinking after this season with one result that 0 RB and hero RB weren't great this year.
That was hilarious.
He goes, Corey's gonna draft 2 straight running backs to start the league next year. I'm like, fucking hell no, I'm not, because we all know that the law of averages is gonna kick in and 70 running backs will get injured next year.
Well, dude, I'll just say right now, if I get a late first round pick and you guys let me pair up CeeDee Lamb and Ashton Genty on the Dallas Cowboys, I'm doing it every single time.
Danny, you're doing the thing where you pick your own players again.
I'm not joking. I'm doing it. Not joking.
I find it funny that you think Genty won't be a first round pick if he's a Dallas Cowboy. It'd be a fucking top 5 pick.
Yeah. You think he'll go top 5?
I think so. I think he would go really high.
I think Barkley. I think Bijan. I think Chase. I think then at that point, I think it's.
I think you could make the argument that like after like Jefferson maybe, but like even Jefferson, like you can have a rookie quarterback.
I mean, you still got to rank like CeeDee Lamb over him. Like who else? Like AJ Brown, maybe.
I would take Genty over AJ Brown next year.
Probably, yeah.
If he was a top 15 pick to the Cowboys, he is at minimum like the 106.
Puka.
I would take Genty in a heartbeat over Puka next year.
You look disrespected when
easily.
I said that.
Puka, like, don't fucking hate me for this. Puka's like, he's a good player, but he's not that fucking. He's not.
He's an awesome player.
He's a great receiver. He's a top 20 receiver in the league.
He's a fantastic wide receiver.
I can list 15 receivers better than Puka Nacua.
No, you can't.
He's great. He's a great receiver, but
Bush, no, you can't.
I can. The Eagles have 2 better than him.
Devontae Smith is not better than Puka.
Devontae Smith is better than Puka Nacua.
He's not better than Puka Nacua.
He is.
No, he's not.
He is better.
No.
He is a more talented receiver than Puka Nacua.
He's not a better receiver than Puka Nacua.
He is.
No.
Never drafting a rookie early after 2023 Bijan and Marvin Harrison this year. Dog, don't not. You must be too young to remember
Dude,
2018 Saquon.
If Jerry is drafting a first-round running back, he's giving him 300 touches.
Yeah, probably.
Like, you think the new coach is going to say no?
No, probably not.
Like, straight up. I mean, the reason why Bijan didn't absolutely crush last year is that we had Arthur Smith and the whole Tyler Algier split. Yeah, like he was a top 10 running back on 270 touches or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
Like, and now this year, what is Bijan in terms of the rankings right now? Is he like, let's see.
What he's scoring as?
But yeah, points per game. So he's the RB4. He's averaging almost 20 points per game.
Yeah. I mean, Bijan having a 20 point per game season after all is definitely not bad. You remember how we said last year our week 6 trade targets was our best?
Yeah.
Our week 6 trade targets featured Bijan Robinson. You know what he's posting since week 6 right now?
20 points every game now, except for
he has 23 points per game since week 6. I remember I put out
on that video.
Brees, unfortunately, who was great for a couple weeks and then has kind of fallen off a little bit.
Receivers though, no, we had a couple good receivers on that.
Week 6 trade targets. Let me take a look. I just I think it's pretty crazy that last year week 6 trade targets were Rachaad White and Jahmyr Gibbs, who just sun ran the rest of the season, and then this year, I remember putting out a TikTok saying this is the most important trade targets TikTok you're going to see because Bijan and Brees need to be fucking purchased immediately because people were talking about Bijan being like mid RB2 rest of season. Like I saw outrageous. I'm not going to name names, but there's like a select few, like 4 to 6 Twitter people that post like stupid threads and takes all the time. I'm not going to say any names here, but one of them was like, is Bijan even a top 15 running back rest of the season? And I quote tweeted it. I'm like, well, it's time to back up the entire Brinks truck for Bijan Robinson.
I think people just say shit to hear themselves talk sometimes.
Yeah. I think we actually split these. I think we actually split up the positions this week. Oh, no, this was week 7. Hold on. Where's week 6? It's fun. It's fun to look and actually be right about stuff. And then it's fun to look and be wrong about stuff also. Yeah. So this week 6 trade targets was CeeDee Lamb, Breece Hall, Bijan Robinson, Cooper Kupp, T. Higgins. And then we said to sell Michael Pittman and Chuba Hubbard. Well, Michael Pittman, that fucking aged really well.
Wait, what?
Danny's throat need to go on IR.
Yo.
Yeah, that is pause, bro.
Who else was on it? I zoned the fuck out. I can't lie.
It was Bijan, Breece, CeeDee Lamb, Cooper Kupp, and I forget who the last name I said was. T. Higgins was the other one.
Not a bad little list there. Can't lie.
Not bad, but I'm sure we also said to sell Derrick Henry like 40 times, so it balances out.
Yeah.
I mean, for what it's worth, Derrick Henry's not been as good as he had been previously.
Dude, I need to see this real quick. Okay, so Derrick Henry.
Since week 8, we said it was week 8 because I remember exactly what week it was. Since week 8, Derrick Henry's 15.9 PPR points per game.
You ready for an ancient take that has a chance of actually equating out?
What's that?
Do you remember my Josh Jacobs over Derrick Henry take? It's actually getting
Josh Jacobs
by the day.
Scoring him now.
No, he's not yet. But Josh Jacobs has 203.7 in 12 games. Derrick Henry has 254.2 in 13 games. So Derrick Henry has a bye. Maybe Jacobs has a 30-point week. Then there's like a 20-point gap for like the last 3 games of the year. If fucking Jacobs somehow finishes above Henry, I'll fucking laugh.
Dude, with about 5 to 7 days left in the offseason, I had this like epiphany that what if the answer to Kyle Pitts and Dalton Kincaid is neither? I wish I had that take the entire offseason.
I wish I just said the answer was George Kittle every time.
I had Kittle ranked ahead of both of them, so that was thankfully not an issue. But what I wish I would have realized sooner, because I realized this like with like a week left to go in the offseason, was seriously what is the difference between Bowers and those guys? Because it was the same bet. It was all, we don't know what the talent is like, except with Bowers, we had a clean slate entering the NFL. And with Kyle Pitts and Kincaid, we already had some insight that they might not actually be as good as we thought.
You know what's really annoying is I was going to take Trey McBride at the 407, but then I'm like, okay, why would I do that? Not why would I do that? I said, I was going to take McBride at the 407, but I'm like, oh, I don't really like the receivers that I would get back. Because I thought for sure if I didn't take Rashee Rice, Zach was going to take Rashee Rice. Obviously, Rashee Rice stays healthy. We're not having this conversation. But now that Rashee Rice has gotten hurt, if I had just taken Trey McBride at that 4-7, and then where I took Kyle Pitts, took the best receiver available for me, that probably would have ended up with Jaden Reed or JSN.
Yeah. Hey, buddy, if we want to play what if scenarios, what if I didn't trade JSN, Amari Cooper, Bucky Irving, and Kareem Hunt plus 30 fab for fucking Brandon Ayuk? That was the worst. That might have been one of the worst trades I've made in a long time as far as like how it aged. Obviously, at the time, I don't think it was that bad because that sounds really bad right now. But Bucky Irving was just a handcuff at the time. Kareem Hunt was nothing. We thought Carson Steele was the starter for the Kansas City Chiefs. Amari Cooper had 4 bad games in a row to start the year. I traded him right before he ended up popping, and I kind of knew that was going to happen. So that was kind of on me. And then JSN had come, I think he had like a 13 target game in week 3 or something like that. But then he had 2 bad games prior to that. And I was like, is JSN really even good? Like I wasn't sure he was.
For a long portion of the year, I thought JSN was overrated when he was like initially popping. And I've kind of accepted now. I'm like, dude, like he's just getting used differently. And like the thesis that I had for coming into the year, it's what's actually happening. It just took way longer than I expected.
Yeah.
So once I like sat down and like thought about it in that vein, instead of going out there and saying like, yeah, JSN's going to regress to the mean, this and that. I'm like, no, like I think we should be adapting our expectations because that's what they're showing on the field now. And sure enough, I mean, JSN looks like a completely different player. Sure, DK got better usage this week, but JSN was so efficient. And
we weren't used to seeing this week too.
But he had like more targets, first rate target share. Like it was on Metcalf's side this week, whereas it's been on JSN's side for the last few. But like even still, with that being said, JSN caught all 4 of his targets, 72 receiving yards. It's like he's also playing a lot better than he was earlier in the year.
Yeah. He looks like a difference maker instead of Wan'Dale Robinson, like he did for most of the year.
Yeah, no, I got to give him his flowers because again, for a little while there, I'm like, okay, this is probably not going to be the guy that I expected him to be coming into the year, unfortunately. And sure enough, it's looking like he could very well do.
He was literally Wan'Dale Robinson for a couple of weeks there.
Yeah, it was getting bad.
I just want to showcase really quick. Speaking of JSN, because he's actually on my big dog team. So the big dog, for those of you guys that are unaware, is like a $500.
Absolutely not crazy.
No, not crazy at all. It's a $500 entry best ball tournament. This is the only bullet I threw into the big dog. So this one I'm heavily invested in. If you guys can see here, this I am the Sims guy is slightly ahead of me, but his whole team is done for the week. I still have Nick Chubb, Cortland Sutton, and Troy Franklin, who's probably not going to do much, but Cortland Sutton and Nick Chubb primarily. And if you just go to week 13, those guys can make my lineup pretty easily, I would say. If Chubb has more than 6 points, he would be in my flex spot over Breece Hall, who's currently in it right now. And if Cortland Sutton / Troy Franklin gets over 7.3, then he would be in my wide receiver 3 spot. And also vice versa, they could make my flex too if they just have like a monster performance. But the exciting thing about this team is that let's say I get 10 to 15 more points on top of what I currently have, then I'm only down, let's say 15, 12 points, something like that. This I am the Sims guy who's ahead of me. And for those of you guys that are unaware, week 14 is the last week of the regular season. And then it goes into the playoff structure for the big dog and BBM and all those other tournaments. Week 14 by Lamar Jackson. Week 14 by Mark Andrews and Luke Musgrave's his other tight end. So he's taking a 0 next week at tight end. And he also has Rashad Bateman, who's a week 14 bye. He also has Audric Estime, Damian Pierce, who are week 14 buys. And he lost Godwin for the season. DK Metcalf is banged up now. Rashid Shaheed is out for the season. So there's a lot of ways that his team scores like 70 points next week. You know what I mean? If Baker has a dud, man, he's going to get like no points out of his onesies. Like if Baker, let's say, Bucky just rushes in a bunch of touchdowns against the Raiders or whatever, like we're going to be in a really good spot. Because as long as you can advance this team, like I look at this thing, it's not a perfect team, but I look at like the weekly ceiling that I have with Mahomes and Goff at quarterback. Like we've seen both of these guys have monster games this year. Goff like had like a 4 touchdown game or whatever. I also have him stacked up with Laporta, who's a pretty low advance rate elite tight end who can still post elite weeks. And then my running back core is insane. I mean, Breece Hall, Saquon Barkley, Rico Dowdle, Nick Chubb, and Chuba Hubbard. Those guys have all hit relative to expectation. The only real question mark has been my wide receiver core with Mike Evans, JSN, Keon Coleman, Cortland Sutton, Curtis Samuel, Xavier Legette, Jermaine Burton, Malachi Corley, and Troy Franklin have been virtually zeros. But the top 6 or so receivers here, especially JSN and Mike Evans being, productive as of late, have been really, really helpful. And Cortland Sutton obviously on a tear too. So with Coleman coming back, I should be in a position to advance this thing. And advancing a big dog team gets you like a nice chunk of change.
Well, yeah, I was going to just show too, because I also entered the big dog. I don't know if Mason's still in here, but actually, as you guys can see, Mason is right in the thick of it, about 69 or 66 from second right now. I'm in first. So with Mason,
yeah, I think it would be hard for him to make up 60 points in 1 week.
Yeah, like, does he have anybody going tonight? Like, maybe Chubb gets into his lineup tonight.
13. Go to week 13 at the top there, because then you can see how much points he needs from Nick Chubb to make his lineup.
Yeah, so it looks like these two are in
Chubb,
his lineup.
Chubb would need to have a pretty large performance tonight, though.
Yeah. So he would need probably like 30 points here to get him a good spot. Tight end, you do have Bauer. So, outside chance, but looking like it might be tough. For me, I am in first right now in terms of this week. Not a really good performance from my quarterbacks here. However, I was able to get solid production from the running back position. Mixon, Cook, Charbonnet working into my flex. Unfortunately, I will be without Dobbins for the most part here. But I don't know. I got some upside here from the ancillary guys like Charbonnet.
You're going to need Mixon and Cook to kind of carry you, though, unfortunately.
For sure. I got Chase, I got Collins, I got Metcalf working to the lineup this week. Guys like Addison, McMillan, Lockett, QJ, maybe some upside to, get a spike week, enter my lineup at any point. And then I have Kelsey mainly as my tight end, unless something unforeseen happens. Maybe Ertz were to go down, or at the end of the year, Sanat does end up getting some more reps. But more than likely, it's going to have to be Kelsey probably getting me over the top here.
Yeah, that is wild that you've been like solo tight ending the whole year, basically.
Yeah.
Because Sinnott had 1 touchdown. He had a touchdown in 1 game, so maybe he hit your lineup that week. But I think he's been virtually a zero. We got Garendo, league winner or what? Yeah, I mean, he definitely could be. So for those of you guys that are curious about waivers tomorrow, what I'm going to do instead of waivers, because it is kind of like a waivery-ish type of video anyways, is every year I do a video called Mustache Players for the Fantasy Playoffs, and I go through and I rank all of the handcuffs for those of you guys that are in playoff position. If you have 2 or 3 extra bench spots, this is the time of year that you want to be stashing Zach Charbonnet and Ray Davis and Tyler Algier and, all the guys that are going to have super high upside if the starter ahead of them goes down. And of course, Isaac Garendo is going to be the most, newsworthy because he is actually relevant now with Jordan Mason and Christian McCaffrey going down. And I'll address that situation. Obviously, he's 100% of your fab type of guy if you have any left, because this is the final week really of the regular season. So you definitely want to be dropping everything. After you advance, Jack, the structure is different by tournament, but specifically for the big dog, it is, I believe, 1 of 6.
One of 6, 1 of 3, and then 1 of 20, right?
No. I think it's 1 of 6, 1 of 6, and then 1 of 60, if I'm not mistaken. Let me take a look.
Okay, because I thought 360 advance, 360 advance, and then 60 of those advance out of that. So that's 1 out of 6. Then 20 advance out of that. So that'd be 1 out of 3. And then it's a 20-man final, I thought.
Yeah, okay. No. It says the tournament will have 4 rounds, each round consisting of player groups, 12-person, 6-person, 6-person. Okay, so it's 1 of 3, as in you need to be second or first then.
Got you. Okay, that's what it is.
It's not 6-person. It's 6-person groups, but you need to finish first or second. So, so Jack, basically what happens, if you've never played on Underdog, you have no idea what we're talking about right now. The weeks 1 to 14 portion is a regular 12-man draft, right? And you just need to come in first or in second. After you advance, which Danny is advancing currently, hopefully I'm able to advance. It looks pretty solid for me to be able to do it. You're into a group for just week 15. It is only week 15 that counts, and you have to come in first out of 6 teams that you'll get paired with, and it's honestly random. You have no idea how good the teams are going to be. You have no idea if you're going to have duplicate players or not. It's just like random. You get put in a 6-person pod, and you have to come in first place. In week 16, you have to come in first or in second, again, of 6 other teams. And then in the final round, which would be week 17, there is only 10 teams left. And the first place team takes down $200,000. And even if you come in 10th, I'd have to take a look really quick.
$2,000 maybe?
If you come in 10th in the big dog, making, it's $10,000. If you make the finals, a minimum $10,000.
Ooh.
It's
Oh, right.
100,000 to second, 80,000 to third, so on and so forth. So the real, dynamic of how to get to the final is you get like, you just need to pop off week 15 and 16. And also you want to have good pod luck as well, where maybe you get paired with some teams that have bad performances type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Pod luck definitely matters. The biggest scale up by far in this tournament. It does not, like, nothing in this tournament matters unless you make the final. It doesn't.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. This tournament,
Look,
it's nice because it's a small field tournament rather than BBM, where like you're not really getting anything if you advance in BBM. It's like $10 that you make on your entry.
For sure. But the difference between finishing 11th and 10th is $8,000.
Yeah. And the difference between coming in dead last in the final and coming in third is like $45,000 or whatever. It's like
$70,000.
70,000. So it's 75 grand to third then, right?
80. 10th 80. Is 10K.
Yeah, no, it's first is 200K, second is 100K. Like it's if you make the final,
I hope we take it down. I hope we take it down, man.
Yeah, I would, dude. It would be fun to fucking take it down. I can't remember. I believe I think Mason won the big dog. Didn't he?
He did. He did a few years ago.
And the Mastiff, I think too, was the other one that he won. Maybe.
Yeah, I believe so.
Or no, the Bulldog. The Bulldog is the other one that he won. I think.
Well, speaking, by the way, so we are in, I believe, the Chow Chow and the Greyhound together. And the Greyhound, I'm in first, you're in second. The guy in third has 1495. So it looks like, unless an upset happens, we should be able to advance. This team I got here too is looking like pretty promising. If I can get the share screen going.
I want a hyper fragile in this league.
Here, is this good? What's
the
one we usually use? This one? Yeah, that one. So we got Burrow, we got Purdy, Achane, Jacobs, Chase Brown as our main running backs. These guys are probably not going to work into the lineup at all. Amonra, unfortunate that you're missing Ayuk, but you got Higgins, JMO, Adonai Mitchell maybe makes a spot appearance or two. Mostly they're going to be the main top guys here. And then you got 3 really usable tight ends, which I found this year specifically is a really good place to be. If you got 3 tight ends that can actually make your lineup. I noticed the advance rates have been pretty high in the pods that I've been in. And then in terms of your team as well, you got a hyper fragile build. Really, it's just Bijan and
Barkley, man. Just horses for me.
You do have Hollywood potentially coming back, which could be a little sneaky skeleton.
Yeah, losing Rice really fucking sucks on this team because having a hyper fragile with Cup, Reed, JSN, and Rashee Rice would have been. Yeah, Jonnu, Goddard, and Hawkinson, also a pretty lethal trio of tight ends. And unfortunately, I have Watson as my second quarterback. If I had like Baker or something, that would have been a lot better.
For sure. And this one, you're in first. Oh, you're crushing. What do we got going on here? So running back, a little bit weak here. This is going to be a really tough team to advance unless ETN just fucking scores.
Is that a Carson Steele share?
And Will Shipley. Let's go.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. This wide receiver core was
my team's a fucking horse in this league. I remember exactly what the team looks like.
I can't lie. My Chow. I don't even know how I'm in third. That team's kind of
like, go to my team really quick on that Chow Chow.
Yeah, let me go back. Burrow,
Mayfield. Burrow and Mayfield with Brees, Saquon, Alvin Kamara as the top 3 running backs. I lost Diggs on this team, which sucks. But the running backs, Kyle Pitts and Bowers is pretty solid too. Like,
look
at Chubb just also cooking for me.
I had a puppy that was fucking dominant. Let me see. Yeah, it was this one, I think. Burrow, Mayfield, Bijan, Barkley, Brooks, Dobbins if he comes back in the playoffs at all, but probably not. Evans, Higgins, Ridley, Addison, whatever with these 2. QJ, Noah Brown's been kind of getting some spike weeks. Ricky Pearsall, and then Pitts and Freiermuth is going to be my downfall 100%. But I mean, not a bad little team.
My my highest scoring draft is a sprint.
Really? My sprints have been so ass.
Yeah. No, dude. My running back core in this. My running back core in the sprint draft is Saquon, DeAndre Swift, Chase Brown, J.K. Dobbins, Tyrone Tracy, and Jordan Mason.
Dude, my highest scoring sprint has 1389.
Yeah, mine's like 1780.
That makes sense.
A horse.
Dude, I was looking, there's a team in BBM right now with like 2,000 points.
That's crazy. Anyways, the game is actually on. I'm watching Nick Chubb actually like rumble for some yards, but appreciate you guys for popping in with us here. Like I said, if you can tell, this is a new background for me. It is just a white wall instead of a gray wall, but everything else I rearranged to make the exact same. But yeah, it is.
I didn't even notice for a while.
What's up?
I didn't even clock that in for a while.
Yeah. Anyways, appreciate you guys for joining
you
us.
just aired me.
No, I didn't know what the hell you were talking about for a second.
I said I didn't even realize your background like was different for a while for some reason.
Well, no, it's because it looks like I'm at my old place.
It
right
does.
Now.
That's why.
It's the exact same setup that I had before. It's just a white wall versus a gray wall. During the day, you'll probably notice a difference because I have like a big ass window beside me now instead of being in a basement apartment like I was before, where I had like no natural light and I was a complete hermit. But anyways, yeah, appreciate you guys for joining us. Leave a like. Like I said, mustache players for the fantasy playoffs coming tomorrow. Stay tuned.